Today we're going to talk about AMC, Gamestop, Wendy's, and all these other meme stocks today. This is going to be an interesting conversation, so get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt, hit the thumbs up button. We're going to get started on the Black Financial Channel right now. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Black Financial Channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins. I am your friendly neighborhood finance professor. The Black Financial Channel, we talk about Black financial news and commentary all day long, every single day. You don't have to be Black to be here, but you have to value the Black community. We follow the B1 philosophy, which means that we make the Black community our top priority because nobody else is going to solve our problems. Also, B1 means that we believe Black people can be number one when it comes to wealth and investing within the next 40 to 50 years if we keep our mind right. And B1 also means that we know we must be one to be successful. So if you agree with the B1 philosophy, put a B1 in the chat. Again, you ain't got to be Black to be here, but you got to know that this is why we exist. This is why we're doing this thing. What's going on? The Sugar Honey Iced Tea, Fast Man Fast, Landover, let's see, Chef Gambit, Jerry Emanuel. Good morning. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button if you have not done that yet. We are building Black-owned media. That's extremely important for our community. Now, I want to talk today about some of ththese meme stocks. How many of you have been following? Give me a yes or no in the chat if you've been following some of these meme stocks and what's been going on with Wendy's and AMC and GameStop and Lordstown Motors and Bed Bath & Beyond and BlackBerry. And it just seems like the list kind of keeps growing every single week when it comes to these meme stocks. And I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've been trying to process what's happening here and ways that this can actually work to your benefit. Now, here's the deal. Let's talk about the meme stocks for a minute in a general context. What does it mean to be a meme stock? Well, basically, a meme stock is defined by a few specific criteria. First of all, there has to be a price jump that moves the stock price away from its fundamental value. The price jump is driven by almost no news and information whatsoever. Typically, stock prices, when they are valued appropriately, they move based on information. You find out the company's going to make more money, so the price jumps. An analyst comes out with an announcement about, a buy rating or sell rating or whatever. The price moves based on that. Well, meme stocks don't really need any news. And also they're followed by a tremendous amount of volume. A lot of traders get involved in these stocks. They just sort of, it's like almost like Woodstock or something where you have all these people that sort of converge on one stock, and then suddenly there's all this activity happening around the stock where there wasn't much going on right there. Also, they measure meme stocks based on the number of mentions that they get in social media. So if there's a lot of chatter, they literally count the number of times a specific stock is mentioned on the Reddit boards and all this other stuff. So if there's a lot of chatter, that might define a stock as a meme stock. And then also short interest. Short interest is the number of investors out there that are trying to short sell the stock. This whole stick it to the man, stick it to the short sellers narrative has been part of the conversation, although I'm not fully convinced that that's the number one reason people buy. I did a survey with you guys on Twitter. And I asked you all, at least amongst intelligent Black people, I said, why are you buying these stocks? Are you trying to stick it to the man? Are you trying to hold these companies long term? Or are you trying to make a fast buck? Well, most people were in it for, the hit it and quit it. They want to come in there and make that money and bounce. And so it's okay to have that objective, but understanding why you're owning something helps me understand how the story is going to end. Again, I compare it to like dating, because if somebody says, if you say, well, what are your intentions with my daughter? And he says, look, I just want to borrow your daughter for about a month. Well, that's different from the guy who says, I'm gonna love your daughter for the rest of her life, versus the guy who says, I'm only dating your daughter because I want to make her ex-boyfriend jealous and I want to stick it to him by dating your daughter, right? Like all those different explanations would lead to different interpretations and different predictions of how the story is going to end, because that's the big question for many of these meme stocks is, how does it play out? If a stock is valued at $10 a share, and then suddenly the market just decides to push it up to 150, can it stay there? What's maintaining that? And when you're putting your family's money on the line, you got to think about this type of thing, because if you don't, you end up broke. So anyway, let's talk about this a little bit. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. And don't forget, guys, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we have private class in the Black Stock Market program. And that's where you send me questions in advance. I answer every single question that you have for me. And also there's a ton of curricula in there in the Black Business School if you want to get good at investing. I've been a finance professor for 27 years, 28 years now, I guess, or something like that. So feel free to go take a look at that. All right. So here's what I want to point out. Well, what I've observed, first of all, Wendy's appears to be among the memes now, which is just fascinating to me. I had no idea why Wendy's would be popped up like that. And but suddenly Wendy's is like the talk of the town. And I'm just like, holy crap, this is so crazy. I never thought I'd see this. So Wendy's is up there. And Wendy's is interesting. Wendy's is a little bit different from like GameStop or AMC, because GameStop was this company that if you'd asked me about GameStop 2 years ago, I'd be like, why would anybody invest in GameStop? GameStop is garbage, right? It's not they're like the Blockbuster. To me, they were the Blockbuster of video gaming, and I've actually gotten into the whole Xbox thing. I kind of mess around with that, and I told you guys about that. And all these games are downloaded. Like nobody goes to the GameStop store anymore, so I didn't even know how that was going to work. AMC, are people really trying to go to the movies as much as they're trying to stay at home and just watch a movie from home? Doesn't mean they won't go to the movies anymore, but to the ability to make the same level of money that you made before is minimal. It's almost like when the U.S. went from when airplanes were invented. It wasn't like they put trains out of business, but the railroads didn't have the same power that they had when they were the only game in town. So movie theaters are not the only game in town anymore. And streaming services have hundreds of millions of subscribers. So a lot of movies are being released online. So how can AMC be expected to do what it did pre-pandemic? It's not going to. You're not going back to the past. It's like that. It's like that girlfriend you dated 5 years ago. Y'all ain't never going to have that relationship again. Y'all might hook up later on in life, but y'all ain't never going to have that relationship you were going to have back then. So AMC will never be what it used to be. AMC is going to have to be, it doesn't mean it can't be better. Maybe it can be, but it's going to require a lot of innovation and a lot of luck. So AMC and GameStop didn't impress me. I messed around with AMC. I made a little bit of money in AMC because what I did was basically I bought the stock and I sold the options, and then I bought puts to protect me from the downside. And I also bought some deep out of the money calls to protect me from FOMO. So basically, what I did with AMC was I said, okay, let me go ahead and take a position. I bought, maybe, 1,000 shares or something, right? And what I did then was I said, okay, I'm going to sell the options immediately because the options prices get pushed up. Whenever people start, like pushing a meme stock, I guarantee it's like clockwork now. As I've been studying this data and kind of analyzing what's happening, the options prices go through the roof. So those of you that are into selling stock options, then these meme stocks are the best place to sell stock options. But your problem is that the value of your principal, the value of your capital, the value of your equity can drop very quickly because these stocks can quickly fall out of favor. So how do you protect against that? Well, that's what puts are for. You buy puts to protect yourself against the downside. But what if the stock takes off and then they call your shares, they take away your options, and then you're mad because now the stock has gone crazy and you're not making any of that money on the upside? Well, then that's what deep out of the money calls allow you to do. You can sort of buy your deep out of the money call where you're basically saying, look, if this stock does something real special, I want to be a part of that too. I want a piece of that. So I'm a little bit greedy, but I want to be a little bit risk averse, meaning that I want to protect myself, but I also want to get a little bit of that upside. But you can't be too greedy and you can't be too scared, because scared money doesn't make money, and greedy people end up broke, right? So you want to have that nice healthy balance. And I can tell you what, we have made enough money on meme stocks so far, me and Alicia, to literally buy us a couple of luxury cars. Like, it's literally now something where I'm like, okay, I get it now. And that's the thing you got to understand. This is why financial literacy is important for you and your kids. It's because, a person that understands economics and understands markets and all that, they know the money's always out there somewhere. The money's always out there. There's always a way to make money. It doesn't matter if it's in a good economy, there's ways to make money. In a bad economy, there's ways to make money. When the market goes up, there's ways to make money. Market goes down, there's ways to make money. Money moves from one sector to the other. And so being able to understand these moves allows you to position yourself where the money resides. So to just give you a short summary, those who might have come in to say, okay, what is Dr. Boyce buying? Well, one stock I'm buying is Wendy's. I did buy Wendy's this morning because here's the thing about Wendy's that's special to me. Wendy's was already seen as a pretty good company before all this happened. Before this happened, about 60% of the analysts were saying that Wendy's was a buy. And this was back when Wendy's price wasn't too much lower than what it is. It was maybe, I don't know, a month ago. It was in the low 20s, maybe 23, and they had a price target of about 25 or 26. So Wendy's trading, in my view, Wendy's, propping up to whatever it is now, I guess is about 27 or something. That's not an outrageous move. Now the thing is, it's 26.77. That's not outrageous. Like, that's justifiable. Even a person that believes in the fundamentals like I do, it sees that as like an okay investment. So yeah, I bought 1,000 shares of Wendy's because I'm like, okay, let's get in here, because even if things go bad, even if it's a pump and dump, it's not that bad. There ain't been a whole lot of pumping yet. This is a little bit of pumping, just enough pumping for you to, feel good, for you to make a little bit of money, but not enough pumping to where the stock price is ballooned to some outrageous number. So anyway, by the way, those of you who are asking about options, if you want to learn more, I got a whole master class I put together. It's really, really good. Feel free to take a look. It's stockoptionsmasterclass.com. You'll be very comfortable with options once you're done with that. Now, some other companies that are in the mix, you got Lordstown Motors, which Lordstown worries me because Lordstown is getting its butt kicked, because Lordstown is literally telling them, warning all of its investors, like, look, we might not even be in business at the end of the year. That's not a place where I'm gonna put a whole lot of my money. I had a small stake in Lordstown and I sell the options on it, but I don't really mess with companies like that. You got BlackBerry, which I'm still waiting for them to make a comeback. GameStop is actually going to release their earnings soon, which will be really interesting, because one critique people have had about GameStop is that people don't quite understand how they're going to become this spectacular company. They kind of keep promising. They're kind of like that real shady dude that like keeps telling the girl, his girlfriend, like, yeah, baby, we're going to get rich one day. We're going to be, I'm going to fix it. We're going to do better and blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, well, how's that going to happen? And he's like, well, I'll tell you later. Right. And he never gives her a clear cut plan. We talk about those shifty, flimsy Negroes, they'll tell you anything, and they'll tell you what the big objective is, but they won't actually explain to you how it's going to occur. Don't be flimsy. Don't be a flimsy dude. Right. Be somebody that's actually structured, that can give a plan and lay out a strategy. So right now, GameStop is being kind of flimsy. GameStop is not offering the kind of information that would make me feel like GameStop is really, really going to be a solid company long term. I know a lot of people believe in their new chairman. Their chairman is Ryan Cohen, I think that's his name. But the reality is that there's nothing there yet with GameStop to say that this is going to be a great long-term investment. However, there are people that believe in GameStop. There are people that will go down with the ship, and people like that are wonderful, because it reminds me of when I play poker. I'm a very good poker player. I told you guys this. I've won tournaments with over 1,000 people in them. I'm damn good. Poker is a great game of psychology, strategy, and math. And in poker, you have a few terms that apply, I think, to invest in as well. The terms would be sharks and fish, right? Because I'm pretty good, and because I like to be good. Anything I do, I like to be good at it. I don't like being a loser. So I studied poker when I started playing, because I wanted to actually win, and I got good at it. And so I might be in that category of a shark, right? The sharks eat the fish, and then you got the fish, and the fish are the fish and the donkeys, right? So the fish are people that don't know how to play, and the donkeys are people that think they know how to play, but they don't, right? If you ever want to lose in life, be an uninformed person who thinks that they're the smartest person in the room. Donkeys in life, like some of y'all, don't ever marry a donkey, because it'll be very frustrating, because they not only do they not know anything, but they really swear that they know more than everyone else, and that people like that are irritating. Like ignorance and arrogance mixed together is a bad combination. So in poker, follow me with this analogy. So in poker, you got the donkeys, where you've got ignorance and arrogance. They'll throw their chips around. They think they know what's going on. They think they can bully everybody. But then the sharks sit back, and the sharks are strategic. The sharks are like, okay, I'm watching you throw these chips around because you're just determined to be the big bully at the table. Okay, cool. I'll let you think you're bullying me. And then by the end of the game, one of the sharks will swim up and just eat the donkey up, like eat the donkey alive. And donkeys are wonderful because donkeys don't quit. Some people, you can scare them, you can intimidate them, right? You can make a move and they'll be like, oh, I'm backing off, right? So so you'll bluff. Like that's what they call it, bluffing in poker. So you bluff the fish, and the fish is like, oh crap, I gotta get out of here, right? So you're like, yeah, I know I scared you. So thank you for giving me your chips. But a donkey doesn't fall for a bluff. A donkey is the person where you bluff them, you bet big, they match the bet, or they'll raise the bet, right? Because they're a donkey. They're stubborn. Donkeys are very stubborn. So basically, donkeys are wonderful if you know how to play with a donkey, because donkeys will give you all their chips, because you'll keep on betting bigger and bigger and bigger, knowing that you got the donkey beat. But the donkey will stick it out to the end, because the donkey is principled. See, principle is a wonderful thing, but it can be a dangerous thing, particularly when you talk about strategy and winning and money in war, right? If you're overly principled, if you're overly determined to stick it out to the death, then what's going to happen is somebody's going to profit from your death. So basically, you've got a lot of donkeys that are invested in some of these companies. And I'm not making fun of them. I'm not saying that they're stupid. I'm not saying that they're bad people. Well, maybe I am kind of saying some of them are stupid. I'm not trying to diss, but what the hell? This ain't no popularity contest. I'm trying to help intelligent Black people know how the game works. So basically, the donkeys are these people. Let me go full circle with this analogy. Y'all know how I am. I give the long analogy, but there's a good point there. The donkeys in the space, in the meme stock space, are these people that are sitting on these Reddit boards who are just determined to own a company no matter what, who are determined to stick it out to the very end, who will just, buy GameStop at any price, who will keep buying AMC at any price, who will keep buying the options at any price. And so basically they're getting eaten by a lot of sharks. There are sharks who are sitting and watching this occur, who know how to strategically position themselves where they're going to take some risk, but they don't take too much risk. And they're going to be cautious, but they're not too cautious. They know how to position themselves just right so that, boom, you can strike on the time when the iron's hot, you make your money, you bounce out of there, the donkeys get eaten alive. So don't be a donkey. That's my point. Don't get overly emotional about it. Don't get all caught up in the frenzy. This is not for black folks. This is, they talk about stuff like that's white folks fight, like Democrat, Republican stuff. I tell you, like that's what they're doing. Like, let them do their thing, and y'all sit over here and you plan, right? And well, the same thing is true here. This is their stuff. This is maybe they have rich parents where they can go lose $10,000 and it's not a big deal. I want that 10 grand to be in your pocket. I want that 10 grand to be transferred to you as an intelligent investor so you can position yourself. So basically, with stocks like Wendy's, I have some AMC. We've made a lot of money on AMC. Basically, we buy the AMC, sell the options, buy puts to protect ourselves from the downside, deep out of the money puts, and then buy some deep out of the money calls so that we can prevent the FOMO, the fear of missing out. So if the stock doubles in price, I'm going to get a piece of that. If the stock cuts in half, I'm going to be protected from that. If the stock stays the same, I've already made my money. That way you protect yourself on all fronts. Okay. So what else is going on? Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button. If you have not done that yet, please do that right now. If you haven't done it. Also, if you go to allblackeconomics.com, I've got a book called It Takes a Village to Raise the Bar, a new paradigm for Black America. You guys know I'm not a finance professor who happens to be Black. I'm a Black man who happens to be a finance professor. So I'm really into the why of money. I'm not really so much just into the how. The how and the what is nice, but the how and the what doesn't mean anything if you don't have a why. So the why is I want our people to have wealth, and so that's something I don't apologize for. That's who I am all the time. Does the Black Wealth Bootcamp cover options? No, it does not. The Black Wealth Bootcamp was something I designed specifically for those that want to quit their job, those that want to get off the corporate plantation, those that want to know how to actually make enough money where you don't have to go to work anymore. So if anybody's interested, feel free to take a look at it. It's a great program. It's blackwealthbootcamp.com. If you want to go take a look. Stockoptionsmasterclass.com is where I cover options in detail. So these are different areas. Think of it like medicine. You have a class that focuses on the heart. Maybe you have something else that focuses on the lungs, right? So you separate all that. All right. So here's some other quick thoughts I want to share. There are some other meme stocks that are out there, stocks that tend to sort of fall in this category that could easily pop as meme stocks. I'm not saying to go buy these stocks, but I am telling you these are stocks that I noticed. There's a stock called Clean Energy Fuels, CLNE, that looks like it could be a meme stock. It's being heavily mentioned on the Reddit boards, and I think it might have actually gone up a little bit. Maybe it looks like it's gone up 25% today. 46% this week. It was already considered a good buy. The company was already highly recommended. It's about $12 a share. And so actually, why not? Let me go ahead. I'm going to get on here right now and buy 500 shares of that and sell some options on it. So nobody knows exactly what it's going to do, but it actually was a good company even before this happened. Another area where you tend to find meme stocks are electric vehicle and cannabis companies. They love, those sort of techie companies. Now, the thing that you got to be careful about with electric vehicle companies is that a lot of them are in that category where Lordstown Motors is, where they're not making any money yet. And companies that are not making any money yet haven't really shown that they have the ability to make money yet, right? So you love the company, you think the company's great, but my question is, can you make $1? And I go through this with entrepreneurs. I have entrepreneurs that come to me and tell me, I've got this great idea that's going to transform the entire Black community and make everybody rich. And I'm like, okay, have you made $1 yet? Like, show me that you can make your first $1. And then we'll start talking more seriously about how you can make that first billion. Right. So a lot of these companies haven't even made their first $1. So that to me is kind of an interesting phenomenon, because if you're dealing with a company that hasn't even learned how to make $1, how can you trust that company is one day going to make all the billions that they're swearing that they're going to make? Remember, and also when you talk about electric vehicle companies, that worries me a little bit, because I'm telling you, Ford, GM, Mercedes, all these companies are now starting to get serious about their electric vehicle game, and they ain't playing. Has anybody seen the new electric Mercedes that just came out? That sucker's beautiful. I was like, oh, I'd take that sucker over a Tesla any day of the week. Now, I'm not saying now Tesla is broader than just electric vehicles. Tesla does a lot of things very, very well, and they have a lot of competitive advantages that I think are really going to play out for them. But, I'm telling you, when you talk about electric vehicles, I think Ford might give Tesla a run for their money in terms of in that space. They got those trucks out now that are awesome. Ford stock, it's quiet as kept, went up 92% this year. I didn't even know I owned Ford. It was just part of a diversified portfolio that I had. And I went in and I was like, hey, babe, look at how much money we made on Ford stock, right? And so Ford, General Electric is doing great. General Electric can benefit from some of this green energy stuff that's going on. They tend to have a hand in everything. Cannabis is a little bit different. A lot of the cannabis companies are making a decent amount of money, but not as much as they will once there's regulatory clarity. I don't know when that clarity is going to occur. But again, I told you guys, my little conspiracy theory is that Joe Biden is not going to finish his first term. I believe Joe Biden, he's definitely not doing a second term. He's probably not going to finish his first. Joe Biden will be the backdoor pathway for Kamala Harris to be the first woman president, first woman of color, woman of Indian/Jamaican descent, right? She's not foundational Black American. We all know this. We've had that debate, but I don't care about that right now in terms of this conversation. I just know that she's going to get elected. That matters because Biden is a person that believes in the decriminalization of cannabis. Kamala believes in the legalization of cannabis. So I believe that once Biden starts getting sick and they start admitting that he can't finish his presidency, I think that that's when you're going to see the cannabis stocks start to pop. And then when he's gone, which I hate, I'm not wishing that on anybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be cold here, but I'm just telling you the truth. Once Biden can't finish his term, you're going to start to see those cannabis companies pop, in my view. I believe strongly that they will. So I'm deeply positioned in cannabis, just because I just think that it's an industry that's been mistreated and it's been misinterpreted, and there's a lot of money to be made over there. Now, in terms of other things with some of the meme stocks, here's another thing I noticed about Bitcoin. I want to issue kind of a warning about Bitcoin. I'm actually going to sell some of my Bitcoin right now. Not because I don't believe in crypto. I do believe deeply in crypto. I just think that there's better ways to make money right now. So here's the deal with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is getting a lot of headwinds right now that I believe could end up harming that space. Bitcoin is first of all, I made a couple of notes here to remind myself. You've got the whole issue with the whole hacking thing. I believe that the hacking headlines are just bad for Bitcoin because you've got this ransomware term that's now associated with Bitcoin, where they're now claiming that that terrorists are using Bitcoin, so they're associating with terrorists. I think that's all it could be part of a plan, but whether it's part of a plan or not, it's not the issue. The issue is, what are they going to do with these headlines? And I think these headlines are going to be used as their justification to form some sort of global coordinated effort to significantly restrict the use of cryptocurrency around the world. Now, I know some people are crypto enthusiasts. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I'm not here to attack you or say that you're wrong. I'm just here to say that, it's almost like telling somebody that they're, that their boyfriend is a liar and a dog, right? It's not personal. It's just, it might be facts, right? And so there are a lot of people that believe Bitcoin is going to keep dropping because of that. If they come out with some sort of coordinated effort, because individual countries can ban crypto and all this other stuff and make it toxic, but it kind of moves across borders. But if all the industrialized countries all get together, if all the governments get together and do what they did on this tax thing, because they already did it with taxes, they already did it with corporate taxes. They said, companies are going from country to country to keep their tax bill low. We don't want them doing that anymore. So they're working on this global minimum tax rate where no matter where you live, you're going to pay at least 15%. I think that they're going to do some sort of global coordination on cryptocurrency that is going to be designed to control crypto. And also the fact that the FBI or whoever was able to go and get that money back from that last little hack, that right there reduced people's confidence that Bitcoin is secure. Now, obviously, it's probably just some guy that they got into a room and they tortured him into giving up his password, right? So it's probably something that basic and simple, but still, it doesn't look good for Bitcoin. You've got, this institutional churn. A lot of experts that were really big on Bitcoin at the start of the year, back when Bitcoin was like 10 grand, they're like, okay, 38's too much. Like we got other better ways to make money. And also with all these problems, we don't need these problems. And that's the thing. When you make an investment, you're not making an investment just because it can make you money. Like I get people all the time. They're like, oh, Dr. B, you should do this. You can make money doing this. Yeah, making money is not the issue. The question is, am I making the most money I could be making right now for the, for in terms of for the least amount of trouble, right? So if you show me something, you're like, oh, this could make 20 grand a year. That's great. But if I've got another project over here that I could put that same money into and make 100 grand a year, then I'm going to go in that direction. I'm not going to go, so making money is not the issue. It's making the most money. It's what they call the efficient use of capital. It's like when I chose to marry Alicia, I told you guys, just to be honest, I had an ex-girlfriend a long time ago, very nice lady, beautiful lady, who was like, well, why wasn't I good enough? And I'm like, no, you were great. You were awesome. You were gorgeous. It's just I can only pick one wife. I had to pick the best one. If I could pick 5, then that would be a different conversation. But I had to pick one. So I picked her, right? So the same thing is true with investing. You pick a wife, you decide, okay, I've got, 100 grand to invest. What's the best use of that money, or 10 grand to invest, or 5 grand, or whatever your number is, right? So a lot of institutions that were on the fringe, the ones that really were responsible for pushing the price up, the people that pushed up the price of Bitcoin were not the hodlers. The hodlers, the enthusiasts, the people that love, crypto no matter what, those are not the people who pushed that price up to 60,000. The people that push the price up were the institutional investors, that big money. When they came in saying, they don't operate, with just, 100 grand at a time. They operate with, 10 billion at a time, or we're going to invest, $500 million in this space. It'll be 2% of our portfolio or something crazy like that. So when they make that move, that becomes the catalyst that pushes prices up. Well, there's a lot of indicators to say that they're moving in different directions. They're like, this was cool. We made our money. Now we're going to sort of rebalance our portfolio, and we don't want as much exposure to Bitcoin because we don't like what's happening. The IRS is jumping in. The IRS is jumping in to tax Bitcoin and crypto differently. And then also you got that last piece again that links back to this whole terrorist stigma that they're kind of trying to put on crypto, where organizations like Hamas, where which I have no issue with. I'm actually more in favor of what like the Palestinians are dealing with. I think that the Israelis are allowed to get away with all kinds of crazy stuff in Palestine, but Hamas and other organizations that are the target of economic sanctions, well, now they can't sanction those organizations anymore because people just send them money in Bitcoin, right? So that's going to be part of their justification to say, we got to slow this crypto thing down because they're funding terrorists with crypto. And again, all this is an exaggeration. All this isn't true. It's totally unfair. It's ridiculous. But that's part of the reason why I admit I'm going to scale down my investment in Bitcoin. If I do crypto, I'm going to do a lot of Ethereum because I like the Ethereum network. I feel like that there's so many great things coming off Ethereum, like NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which are going to be really interesting in the future. And I just think Ethereum is beautiful. So I'll probably move some of the money over, drop a little bit in Ethereum, and then move more over to stocks and real estate just as a rebalancing move. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much everything. And so I'm going to bounce out. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. Also, don't forget, we have actually, if you want your kids to learn about wealth, we have a great children's program. Thousands of kids are in it. Thousands of parents have signed their children up. Do something good for your kids when it comes to teaching them about money and about wealth. You must do this. Your kids do not have to go work for white people their entire life. I know that's what you were trained to do when you were a kid, maybe some of you, but that's not the only pathway. There are other options. But you have to teach them the options early so that it'll be ingrained in their mind when they become adults. So feel free to take a look at our program. It's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. The first month is totally free if you want to give it a try, just to see if you like it. It's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. Please hit the thumbs up button, share button, subscribe button if you haven't done it yet. And if you have more questions for me and things like that you want me to answer, don't forget, in the Black Stock Market program, every Tuesday, I answer every single student question. That's purely for Q&A. Like all I do is answer student questions. So feel free to join us on Tuesdays as well. So I'm out of here, guys. Have a good day. I'll see you soon. Take care. Peace.